tuning in to the online broadcast network, Afterbuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. Afterbuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Ooh. This is terrifying.
I was gonna say, so creepy, guys. The official theme song for Scream Queens. Well, welcome to our Scream Queens after show. I'm Stephanie Wenger, and this is episode 9, Ghost Stories. And if you saw the episode, you absolutely know why. And joining me tonight...
Hey everybody, I'm Paulina Aguilar.
Hi guys, I'm Jamie Elias. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram at Jamie S. Elias.
And we are streaming live on YouTube, and you can always find us on YouTube, SoundCloud, and iTunes. And I want to jump into this episode because this was pretty crazy for Scream Queens. I have to say, Boon is back.
Yeah, my favorite character. I love Boon.
I feel like we've been waiting for Nick Jonas to come back, and we saw like a glimpse of him in the crazy getup last week, and then he comes back. Is he a ghost? Is he really there? We don't really know at the beginning of the episode.
Like, can we talk about how good of an actor Nick Jonas is? Like, he's my favorite character for more than one reason on the show. His acting is freaking hilarious. He's great.
Yeah, he's so good, and it's so different. If you've seen him on Kingdom, it's
it's like Scream Queens and Kingdom. And
night and day.
Yeah, and you're like, this is the same person?
Yeah.
How is he doing this? And then he has this whole singing career. I could go on and on about Nick Jonas and how, like, crazy talented that guy is, but...
Dead gay Boon.
Yeah. Amazing, right? So incredible. So what did you think about it? We got a big reveal that we'll talk about in a second of him being very involved with what we kind of have always guessed with the Red Devil, but what did you think about him being back and all of the Chanelles kind of freaking out over that?
I liked it. I liked this episode because we got so much info, and I think that's what all the fans were waiting for. It's what we wanted, and we all had our suspects and all that. So that's why I love this episode.
Yeah, totally. Like, the reveals were huge.
Yeah, because I felt like we have 3 more episodes this season, and it was time to get some information. I feel like we've been guessing for the last, 2 or 3 episodes.
Since the beginning.
That's fair. Yeah, since the beginning, for sure. But I feel like the last 2 or 3 episodes, we've been kind of, getting deeper and deeper into it, but really not having any answers. A lot of questions, and we're like, well, maybe, I think we talked about, could there be a twin situation, and we learned tonight that there definitely was.
And that was all Keaton. That was her theory.
Yeah. Exactly. And Keaton will be back with us next week, by the way, and we'll be airing at a special time on Tuesday next week, and we'll have more information on all of our Twitters about that coming up. But that being said, yeah, that was Keaton's theory of the twins, a boy and a girl. She nailed it, I have to say.
I did not see that coming at all.
Yeah, I've heard her talk about it so much that I started to kind of
jump on that train.
Yeah, jump on that train, exactly. And then I was like, wow, she got it right, guys. Yeah, I was really surprised by that, though, that it happened. I thought that was going to be kind of the last 15 minutes of episode 12, if you will, that season finale, but to get it in episode 9 was surprising to me.
And I kind of feel like, with that being said, there's only a couple options left of who that other Red Devil can be, right? It has to be a Chanelle, in my head.
Okay.
I don't know. I was, reading an article earlier today that was talking about how... Do you know how they did that whole thing where, I think it was Chanelle number 5 that was in the car, and the guy kept high-beaming her after the ghost story? So somebody had to have heard that story, because that was the third Red Devil that was in the car with her. So it had to be a Chanelle that was in the room with her that heard that story. Do you guys get what I'm saying? That was the third one?
So there's 3? I thought there was only 2.
No, there's 3 because...
Gigi, Boon, and then the third.
And then somebody the third attacks Boon.
And then that happened when Nick Jonas killed... Why can't I think of his name right now? When Boon killed Earl Grey.
Yes.
That was happening at the same time that she was in the back of the car.
Okay.
And so Gigi was, not really in this episode, so I don't think it was her, so it had to be one of those Chanelles,
and
right?
they claim that it is Boone's sister, his twin sister.
Yes.
So it has to be someone who, well, maybe doesn't look totally like Boone, but I don't know. Like,
I don't either.
It's a crazy thought. Well, tweet us what you're thinking, who that person is, because maybe as we go through this, we'll have something in predictions. But I feel like right now we're all I was really stumped when I watched the episode.
100%.
Yeah, I started to like cross out people that I knew it wasn't, and then I was like, wait, who's left? So help us out. Because do you think, I know some fans have been talking about Grace being a possibility.
It's too obvious. I'm still against that theory.
I mean,
agree.
I think I jumped on the bandwagon at one point, and now I'm starting to jump off that bandwagon. I feel like every week I change my theories on this show, but
I don't know, because even when he said, do you remember how they asked, the Red Devil asked, or Nick Jonas asked, hey, how is Zayday doing?
Mm-hmm.
So, and he was talking to the third Red Devil on the phone. It wasn't Gigi, because he was talking shit about Gigi on the phone.
Yeah.
But Grace is with Zayday all the time.
But Grace is with Zayday all the time, and so are the other Chanels.
Right.
So it has to be somebody in the sorority house, like in my head. It couldn't be like a Dickie Dollar Scholar.
No.
It's obviously...
It's not number 5.
It's not number 5. It's a girl, so it's
either
not
Chanelle
Grace's
or
dad.
3.
Yeah, right?
Or the Dean?
I mean, I guess it could be the Dean. I don't know.
The Dean would be an interesting choice. And also, I think someone tweeted me a few weeks ago that it could be Chad.
But
It's a girl.
Oh,
Is
maybe
it a
it's like a
twin?
sex change. I could see them pulling that, though. I could see them pulling that.
Okay, but what about the devil that attacked
No
the
arms.
security guard?
Oh.
Yeah, isn't that the third that we...
But
Yeah, that's the
all the
third we don't know.
Chanels were in the house, in the room. Because she came in.
And Chad was outside.
She came in and said, the devil's trying to kill me, and locked them all inside.
Man, I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Chad has a sex change. It could happen.
Yeah. It's interesting that we're going to have to kind of wait and figure it out. I'm going to be like crossing people off. I'm going to have to like IMBD print out the list and then start
Jeez
crossing people
Louise.
off, which is a crazy way to view a show. But I feel like it's getting there to that point where it's necessary.
So true.
So let's jump back into this Boon storyline and how this all...
Can I just say how the hell that he got away with playing a ghost? I mean, you see with his mustache falling off in Chanel number 3, he's like, Boon, and then... I mean, I guess if I were Boone and you thought I was a ghost, I would roll with it.
Right.
And I would roll with it, not gonna lie. But the fact that he got so far with it
Right.
boggles my mind. It boggles my mind.
You do wonder. You're like, how do these girls really think like... Okay, so like ghosts, generally when you hear ghost stories, I was just listening to like Kiss FM on the way over, and they always do the ghost stories
Right.
at in Los Angeles at around 9 o'clock. And they were talking about like in a hotel you hear footsteps outside. Like you don't actually, at least in the experiences I've heard about ghosts, you do not actually see the said ghost.
Mm-hmm.
So like to have this full human being in front of you is a little crazy.
And she had to, so I don't think she's the killer either, because if she saw Boone, she'd be like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, if she was the other Red Devil, she would have said, your disguise sucks, instead of being like, you're the ghost of Boone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that knocks another person off on my list. I just want to know, guys. I'm sorry. I can't stop.
I mean, you have 3 more weeks.
I know.
Yeah, I think that it's really interesting that this is where we're at with the show, because I didn't expect to get this big of a reveal.
100%. I mean, we kind of deserved it, though. I feel like watching the show for 8 episodes and not
Yeah.
getting
A lot of
anything,
time.
I'm like, come on.
Yes. Yeah, for the last few weeks, I've been feeling like I really wanted an answer of some sort, and
Right.
this gave me a few, but not enough yet. But what do you think about the investigation that Grace and Zayday are doing? This is actually the reason why they're kind of still suspects in my mind, is that
Really?
they're so close to it. Like, they're trying to investigate and, like...
But see, Grace is taking the steps that I would take to figure out who the killer is.
Right.
Like, you see the meeting with the detective, and he pulls out a dope Department of Paranormal Investigation or Evidence or something like that. And she goes, what? No,
Yeah,
it's not a ghost.
pissed.
Like, I would be the exact same way.
Exactly.
So
they're
I
pissed.
don't think it's her either. And I don't think it's Zayday. Zayday, obviously, she got attacked.
No, Zayday, I feel like you could cross out. Grace, I'm still like 50-50 with.
Grace could be a crazy bee. She could turn out to be that way. I like the sex change theory better. I like it being Chad. I like it being Chad more.
Just
because it's so Ryan
That
Murphy
might
and
be-
so
like-
Brad Falchuk. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, I agree, and it's something that they've done on Glee before, so it's not totally out of their realm to
Right.
do that.
Or Nip Tuck. They've done that so many times. I can see that happening.
But I
Absolutely.
think their work is doing pretty well. The only person that we didn't see is Pete.
Yeah, I feel like we don't
didn't see
see him
Pete.
very often.
Yeah.
Not
Diego, ¿dónde está? We miss you. Seriously.
Right? Like,
Where are you?
oh yeah, Diego. Like, where are you? What
Where are you
happened?
at?
But yeah, and I feel like there's was a little romance brewing between him and
They have the weirdest situation. Can we talk about that for a second? Their situation is weird. Like, what? Are you guys dating? Are you not dating? Did you kiss? Are you not
Awkward.
kissing? Now is it over? I'm just so confused by them. I don't like their
I think they're
storyline.
gonna end up together once they figure out who the killer is.
Watch, it's him. And he got the sex change. Maybe it's him.
yes.
Maybe it's him.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder what will happen do you think it really could be a sex change?
No.
Stop. Yes, it could.
No.
Stop.
Someone's
Paulina.
gotta go against you,
Paulina.
and I'm gonna go. No, I don't think it is.
Come on.
No, I'm
It
not
would
on
be
that
so
one.
good.
I'm off that train.
It
Yeah.
would be so good.
As I was raising my chair and awkwardly, thank you guys. What was I gonna mention about that whole storyline? The reason I'm thinking that it could be Grace is she doesn't know her background at all. Like, her dad has lied to her and all of this. So I'm wondering if because she was obviously in a mental institution, if she was the twin. That's what makes me curious.
She would go crazy.
She wasn't.
But I feel like if she knew about her family history, she would have a reason to go out and kill.
Or maybe that's what she just thought about her family history. Like, I could see her thinking my mom was the bathtub and I was the bathtub baby.
But do you think that if she saw that painting of two kids, she would know that that's me?
I don't think it's Grace
like-
either. I'm with you. I don't think it's Grace either.
All right, I'll stick with mine.
It's okay. I think it's like a boy that turned into a girl, so it's chill. Don't worry
I
about
was
it.
going to say, I'm 50-50, but I'm going to stick with my 50-50 and go with it. Let's talk a little bit about this Chanelle and Chad. This might be the most dysfunctional relationship on the show.
My favorite part of the show.
I love it. But I love Chad. The way he packs his clothes, it's so efficient.
Yeah.
I don't
He has created such an amazing character. Like, it's so,
Yes.
you feel like you know this guy when you
I want
watch.
to be friends with this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, like you're like, he reminds you of somebody in your life. I feel like he's definitely it's a very full character.
Douchey frat boy friends. Everybody has them. Everybody does, and we love them anyways.
Yes. This relationship with Chanelle, I love that she was like, he asked me a question, and then there was the
Proposed.
box. Yeah, it was like
The wishbone.
Yeah, the wishbone. And she was like, but everyone, once they have the wishbone necklace, always gets the ring. And you're like,
You're saying like this is ridiculous. Or their compliment dates.
oh,
But
yeah.
he stepped up. He asked her to go visit his family.
He did.
took
Do you
the next
think
step.
that that's a commitment, though? Like,
It's a step I think it is for a guy like him.
Okay.
A guy that likes to sleep
Yeah.
around, a guy that likes to play the field, to settle down and invite someone to their family. For a guy, it's a big deal.
Yeah, and didn't he even
And
tell
that's
her?
in real life, yeah.
Didn't he tell her like, hey, every person that gets the wishbone necklace ends
Gets
up
a
getting a
ring.
ring, except for the one girl who died and is a ghost on their farm.
terrible.
I mean, if I were Chanelle and it took me that long to get a guy to settle down with me, I would take it.
Yeah.
I'd take it. Take what you can get.
Get a girl. You go, Chanel.
I mean, I don't.
Get that
it's-
wishbone necklace.
I
just-
probably wouldn't kill Hester, but
I'm wondering. We'll get to Hester here in a second. Hester was, take away one of. I feel like I say every storyline on the show is crazy, but she may have been the craziest tonight.
Pretty
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah.
Leah Michelle did a really good job this episode too, because I'm not really super fond of her character. I haven't been. And this episode, after I watched it, I was like, "You are a great actress." She creeped me out a little bit, like when she was sitting around the fire listening to the story, and she's like, "Ooh, I'm into it, yeah." And like her facial expressions and the way she was saying things, I'm like, "Okay, Leah Michelle."
Yeah, I have a really hard time normally when I see an actor jump from one series into another.
Really?
I like think of them in the initial
like Glee?
series. Yeah, Glee for her. And she has done an incredible job on this show of making me not think of Rachel Berry.
Yeah, she's
like,
separated pretty well.
yeah, and because a lot of times you see somebody in a movie or something and they've been in a series for a long time and I'm like, oh yeah, and it's really hard for me to like separate it out unless it's something dramatically different. And on this, she has like really carved out I think they're all really big characters on the show, and that really helps. But she's done a great job of making me forget Rachel Berry and think of her as Hester now.
I mean, they're both, Rachel Berry and Hester are both cray-cray, but just different kinds. Just different kinds.
That's a fair assessment. We could do
different kinds of crazy.
Yeah, I was gonna say a whole comparison of those two characters, but yeah, Hester is full on nuts. I mean, to claim that you're pregnant when you're not.
What psycho girl hasn't done that?
I mean,
I have not done that.
I was about to say, girl.
No, I have not done that. That's a dirty game. That's a dirty game.
I was gonna say, I was like, do we need to have a whole conversation here?
No.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, okay.
I love that was like they're getting back at her too, is that they were giving her alcohol and soft cheese and fish.
That was a smart play.
I got you.
Smart play.
I thought they were gonna poison the food.
I thought so too, because that was after they talked about killing her.
Exactly.
Well, when I saw them say sushi and then it was like soft cheese, those are all things that like obviously you're not supposed to have when you're pregnant. But I was like, would you know that at like 20, 21 that you weren't? I mean, alcohol, yes, but I didn't.
That's extra. It has tobacco in the alcohol.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, this is extra terrible. Got it.
I mean, maybe like the fish and the cheese, but the alcohol, she would have been like.
I mean, the alcohol was a clear one.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I was like fish and cheese, okay, maybe you wouldn't immediately know that, but the alcohol was like, especially like laced with nicotine. You're like, okay, maybe not that.
Relax.
Yeah. And then, but Chad does step up for her when he finds out that she's pregnant, I guess. But
did you see how casual he was? He was like, oh, all right, it happened. Gotta marry her now. Like, all right, like I gotta lie in the bed that, you know, whatever that saying goes.
Yeah.
He was fine with it.
Yeah. Did you think that? What I was waiting for was the scene between him and Hester. He was like, I'm really upset by it. And then we never got that scene where he, like, confronts Hester.
Because he didn't question his action, though. He knew that he had slept with her, and he wasn't surprised that, hey, maybe I could have gotten her pregnant.
Yeah, he was like, I've got strong, I don't even remember.
Strong swimmers.
Yeah, strong
and
swimmers.
wasn't it, like, inferred that there was a conversation because he bought her that first class plane ticket? He was like, she said, Chad already bought me the first class plane ticket to go see his parents and da-da-da-da. Do you remember when she was telling Chanelle that?
I think that was all game, though.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't think he did.
Yeah.
No, because you didn't even see the conversation of, like, so I knocked you up, huh? Like,
I wish we would have saw that, for
that
sure.
would have been funny.
That would have been really funny.
Yeah, I just really wanted, like, some confrontation between them, and we didn't get it, which is frustrating. I don't know, though. Do you think we'll ever get them, like, in a scene together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's coming.
Next week?
Possibly, hopefully. I don't know. He's so funny and he's so nonchalant about everything. He just doesn't care. Like, I mean, he cares, but he doesn't care. You know what I mean? Like, in this whole Hester thing, he's like, meh, like you said.
Because he knows who he is.
Make your bed, you lay in
he's
it.
comfortable with it.
Like, that's
Always
not
be
how
who
the
you
bad-
are.
Yeah.
That's not how the
Lesson
bad
for all
roll.
of you.
Yeah, I was going to say, for better or worse.
It's pretty funny.
Be who you are. Chad's this very interesting guy at this point. He, you, like, player, but then, like, kind of owns his actions, as you were saying.
As you should.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's also a really good character. I don't know how far the show would go without a Chad Radwell. I'm gonna be real with you guys.
Yeah.
I'm super into him.
Did we get Chad and Boon together? I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
okay.
where you that was the scene where he was like, yo, I know you saw me from heaven, but I banged like 6 girls in your bed. I'm really sorry, but you know, it's like that summer camp feel. And he's like giving the high fives.
Yes, that's right. I was like, for a moment, I was like, wait a second.
No,
did we?
we did.
We did. Okay, so that's good. I think that there needs to be more of that because obviously I need more of it. If I can't even, I was like, thank you for recalling it
Got
for
you
me.
back.
Yeah.
I'll never forget.
And then what else are we missing?
When Boone goes to swoop up Zayday.
Yes.
And can I just say that was my favorite line when he goes, you like this material? It's boyfriend material. That was my favorite line. I rewinded that like 3 times and laughed my butt off.
And Zayda was
It
just
was a
not
great
having
line.
any of it. She was like, you think he's pulling the oldest trick in the book? He's a ghost.
Yeah. Yeah. I just can't believe that they were all like kind of on board with the ghost thing until Zayday was like, No. Hold the phone.
They eat cotton.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect very much.
Yeah.
I know, they're all so funny. And it's just like, my favorite part is when it's Chanelle number 5, whenever she says anything, and it's serious. It's like a good, something that she says that makes sense, and everybody's like, Chanelle, you're so stupid.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, I feel like that happens every single episode. So good.
It's amazing. Yeah, the show is that way hilarious. Like, this girls live in this, like, bubble. That's what, in some ways, Kappa feels like, is this bubble of, like, crazy. Yeah. And they're all crazy in their own special ways.
So good.
Let's see. What else did I want to talk about tonight?
Can we talk about those Japanese ghost stories?
Yeah. Yes, that was what I was just about
I need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
That's not even a ghost story. I feel like it's just like a horror story, like blue toilet paper, red toilet paper.
Isn't that an ode to the Matrix?
I don't know. I've never seen it.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Do you want the blue pill or the red pill? It's like, it talks about...
All right.
That's what I thought that
but
was.
can I just say the vagina snatcher? I never want to use the bathroom again.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He pulls you down by your vagina and drowns you in the sewage.
I don't know about that.
Who comes up with that? Who are your writers? I'm so impressed. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, the way also they're, as you mentioned, The Matrix, they do all these, like, throwbacks to different films and a lot of horror films. And it makes me, I think I've mentioned on the show before, I'm not, like, the biggest into the horror genre, so I have to, like, go back and figure out all the, like, the links back, and it's so crazy to think about. The writers on this show are so good, and there's so many layers to the show if you really go down.
Even the story of the lights and the honking, that was from a children's horror book.
Was it?
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it. Man, I'll get it for you guys next week. But it's from a children's horror book. It's like a collection of short, scary stories, and it's called The Hitchhiker, and that's from that.
I saw the Sophia Bush version of that movie.
The what?
That book.
Oh.
Sophia Bush was in a movie called The Hitchhiker or The Hitcher or something like that about a trucker. Which is pretty good, but I didn't hear about the books.
Yeah, it's just like
That's cool.
a collection of like short, scary. If you guys can think of the name of it, please tweet us because I remember reading that.
Actually, I think our producer just pulled up. It looks like there is a movie called The Hitchhiker. And I'm trying to get more information about it, but
I think that I don't know if The Hitchhiker the movie and the short story are the same. But
okay.
But would you pull over in the trucker? I mean, I wouldn't, but I mean, if he's trying to tell me someone's in the back of my car, then maybe I would, but then how would I know? I mean,
I'm a big
it's a
proponent,
big risk.
especially at night, of like keeping my doors locked and all those like safety thoughts.
But I would also look in my car before I get in it. I mean, I know it's a show.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I mean, it's again kind of the Pretty Little Liars theory of life here, which is something that I talk about on my other show all the time, is that they leave their doors unlocked. Like, somebody's after them on the show, and it feels much the same on Scream Queens. They don't really keep visual, like, they're not.
Alert.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's for jest on Scream Queens, whereas like Pretty Little Liars, they do it as like, this is a campy, like, I don't know if Pretty Little Liars is like a horror. I haven't really seen, like a suspense.
It's suspense.
Like for the suspense factor, where this, I think they do it just to be like super naive, and like Ryan Murphy's like, these are the most typical sororities, like girls that are being scared. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that that's like both very true, and also you could argue something that it'll be interesting to see in this, if they get a season 2 of this, which they've not yet announced, how it changes next year, because I don't think it'll be in a sorority anymore. So what's going to happen next year?
I hope it's like a summer camp.
Yeah.
I think a summer camp would be so good.
Yeah, I think it either has to be a summer camp. Like, it would be fun to see the guys' perspective also, like do it in a fraternity.
Yeah.
I could see that being interesting. I don't know that that'll happen next year. It's kind of too similar to a sorority. But summer camp, I could see something like all the girls back in their, like, I don't know how you would do it because they're all from different places, but like back in their hometown and like summer jobs being kind of interesting.
Yeah, you could spoof so many scary movies. It could be like a Jeepers Creepers. They could spoof like,
you know what I mean?
Summer. Yeah, they could spoof so many different kinds of, and there's so many settings. It really, if they do get a second season, it's kind of like an open book. You know, I feel like they could do so many things with it.
Yeah, and I mean, as we all know, American Horror Story, that is another Ryan Murphy anthology, does so well in the ratings, and everybody talks about it. So I think that they have a lot of kind of ability to move and turn and see where they want to go with this. I'm hoping Fox gives them the second season. I think it would be really interesting to see where
it would
goes.
be interesting.
Yeah, but I am ready for this storyline. I want answers.
So just tell me.
3 more episodes. The final episode is 2 hours, so I think we can expect a lot of revelations in that.
Yeah.
Let's see.
You know what we haven't talked about? How Gigi isn't the original girl in the bathroom.
She's the friend.
But no. They said this episode that somehow Gigi got the twins.
Right.
From the original nice girl, because the dean would have known if it was Gigi who got the girls in the bathroom. And the dean basically said, hey, the only girl with any humanity took the twins. I don't know how Gigi got the twins. So I want to know
Kidnapped?
how... Yeah, I want to know how the hag of whatever...
From the Institute. That's the only way I could think of.
Right? Maybe the woman... But, okay, the woman... I'm trying to figure out who the lady with the humanity was that got the 2 girls. Or the 2 boys. Or the boy and the girl. I'm sorry, excuse me.
The boy and the girl.
The boy and the girl. And then how did the twins get from this person of compassion to Gigi in an institution? Like, I want to hear how that all went down.
I think Gigi was after the institution. That would make...
But then Gigi's in the picture holding them of the institution, coming into the institution with 2 twins.
I wonder if Gigi, and this was just a thought that, like a passing thought that I had while watching the episode, if she's like a sister of the mother
or anything. Or
like related to the mom.
Yeah, somehow
like
related.
She couldn't have kids.
Yeah.
I feel like, well, yeah.
Gigi's special kind of crazy too, though.
She's psycho. She has to have been admitted, right?
Oh, and why does Gigi want revenge? Like, that's my question too, is like, if Gigi wasn't that girl of compassion in the bathroom, why is she so gung-ho for 20 years,
everybody?
like Boon was saying, like, I spent so much time pretending to be gay, doing this, getting into
You know what I was confused at? In that scene, when they were talking and Boon actually dies, is after the devil stabs him, Gigi goes, you're more compassionate, or no, your revenge is more than your brother.
Yeah.
Who's the brother? I thought...
No. He was Boon's the brother.
Yeah,
but that was like the twin.
Yeah, your compassion is more than your brother. So talking to the sister.
But she was talking to the devil.
The sister.
The devil, yeah.
Who is Boon's sister.
I keep thinking the devil's a guy because he's so tall and
I'm
strong.
telling you, sex change. Just get on my train. Get on my train.
No, I'm
it's
not.
a dude.
I'll throw away my ticket.
I know. I know. I don't know, but that's what I was really... That was the thing I was the most confused about this episode, because I'm like, whoa, this whole time I thought Gigi was that girl of compassion, but Dean Munch would know because she was there.
Right.
Yeah. Do you think that the devil and Boone's sister is upset? Why do you think the devil went after Boone in that particular moment? The only reason I could think was that he was revealing her secrets.
Of Gigi? I think that Boone wanted to kill Gigi.
Right.
Yeah.
And Boone wanted... The thing that was happening was, like, Boone wanted to go and get some stuff for himself. Like, he spent his entire life... like plotting for revenge, right? Okay. And then finally he was like, oh, Zayde, I'm finally gonna get something for myself. I went after the person I loved. And his sister was basically like, no, F you. Like, this is all about revenge. Like, you don't get anything that's yourself. So she took Gigi's side over Boone's side. So instead of killing Gigi, she killed Boone to keep the revenge going so that Boone wouldn't F it up with everything that he wanted for himself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. The other thought that I had was that, so as he's revealing, like, he's not gay, all these things to Gigi, and saying, like, I've done everything in service of whatever.
Revenge.
Yeah, revenge, their goal. That the sister, the Red Devil, who seems like the most violent, the one we don't know yet, seems like the most outwardly violent, was upset that he was kind of revealing a little bit about, like, his life or their life.
To Gigi, though?
Yeah.
I feel like Gigi was the pseudo-mom, though. Yeah. Because the way that they made it sound was like, no matter how much you want to be, you're not my real mother. And, like, that's what Boone was saying. So that made me think Gigi had, like, raised them to do this entire revenge plan.
She's had some kind of maternity issues, either with her mom, or she couldn't have babies, or something.
Yeah,
because
Gigi,
you just don't go and kidnap kids. I mean...
Gigi's special kind of crazy,
but you know what I was thinking? I don't think it's Chanelle is the killer.
No,
I don't think so either.
Okay, that. Okay, then.
Yeah, I think that the Red Devil, also the third Red Devil, who we don't know yet, might have also been upset that Boon was acting out towards Gigi. Maybe she thinks of Gigi as more of,
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of reasons for why, but I thought it was interesting that we only got Boon alive for one episode.
I know, what the frick? He's my favorite freaking
At least
character.
we got info. At least we got info.
Come back.
Yeah.
He can come back. He's done it before.
Yeah, you're like, he's not dead
He's
yet.
not dead. Please don't be dead, Boon. You're my fave.
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
There was one other thing that I wanted to mention. Let's see if I...
Hester?
We talked a little bit about Hester.
Dying?
Yeah, her dying. That was a pretty violent way to end an episode 1, because that was pretty much the end of the episode. So basically apologizing and then shoving someone down a staircase.
Do you guys think she's dead, though?
You hear the neck?
But there was the neck brace. I feel like she put that neck brace on at a way too convenient time. So, like, I feel like maybe we heard the neck brace do, like, a pop or a snap, and she's still alive. That was, like, my first thought was, like, why the F do you got your neck brace on, though? You haven't had it on this entire season, and now the one episode you get thrown down the
Said
stairs.
that her posture was, like, slipping, like something.
No, I know. It's just a convenient episode for her to put on her neck brace. Because a neck brace, essentially, like a halo, keeps your neck straight, right?
Yeah.
True.
I don't know. I could be way off, but I was just like,
I don't know. I mean, she looked really dead, but so did Boon. So I don't really can't say
looked really dead.
can like definitively
This is
tell
true.
you.
This
Yeah.
is true. She's crazy enough to pretend to be dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If she can be crazy enough to be pregnant, she can be crazy enough to be dead.
Exactly.
Yeah. Man, it's again a special kind of crazy. I feel like that's
love
what
it.
we keep coming back to.
love it.
All these characters are kind of a special kind of crazy. But Hester, so I don't think she's dead. What about you?
Based on the snap, I'm thinking she's dead.
I don't think she is. I hope she's not. I mean, if Boon and Hester die in the same episode, I'm freaking pissed.
Yeah.
Come on.
Those are two big ones to lose.
Two hilarious ones.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, you have to tweet us and let us know what you're thinking about that too. Dead, alive? Who knows?
The writers?
Yeah, you're like next week we'll know.
Exactly. We'll never know.
Well, maybe that is a good place to bring it into predictions.
And now, your Afterbuzz TV predictions.
Any ones jumping out at you? I know we've been doing them the entire show. It's hard. I think that the dean, she might not be the Red Devil because age-wise that would be quite weird if she's Boon's twin. Like that doesn't really work.
Right.
But maybe I do wonder if she's the mother. She's revealed so much about this situation. She has to be very close in it. And so is she the mother? Is she, again, related to the mother?
Like a grandma, like the mom of the mom.
Yeah, or is Gigi and her, there's something in that relationship, and I don't have a clear prediction on it.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see what happens with the dean in relationship to the babies, because she seems to be the one who has the most knowledge of it.
See, I'm going to go against you on that.
Okay.
Only because she's the dean and she has to take care of issues at the school, that she gets called for things like that, and she just happens to be the one to have to deal with it. So she has to have all the info. I don't think she's closely related to anybody.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna take a left turn, guys. This is probably so way off, but the show is so weird that I'm doing it.
Okay.
I think Chanelle number 5 is the Red Devil that we're missing.
All right.
And
Because-
that's Abigail
Abigail
Breslin.
Breslin.
Okay.
This is why I think that. And this is probably wrong, but whatever. Every time she's been in a situation with the Red Devil, nobody is able to corroborate her story. Like both the twins died, and then her story where she was driving was like, what? You legitimately just heard that story
They said
from
that
Hester,
too.
and then you made up the same story to tell. Like, nobody was there to corroborate, yes, that actually happened. And I just feel like she's too much, like, she's so underplayed in this episode, this whole season. I feel like I just
But
think
if she
it's
was
her.
if she's the Red Devil, then who was the Red Devil in the car?
That's what I'm saying. I think she made it up.
Huh.
And we didn't see Wes tonight.
The dad.
Yeah, Grace's dad. What do we think?
You think
Involvement?
Gigi turned him?
I think he's an idiot. I just think that I thought at first he was smart, and now I just think that he was like trying to protect his daughter. I don't think he's involved.
He's hiding some kind of important fact about Grace, though.
Yeah.
I do have to say he seems really naive. Like, naive about the way college works for allegedly being a professor.
Yeah.
Like, he seems really naive about having a teenage daughter and what she would want. He seems kind of naive in his relationship, and that makes me not question him. I don't think he's necessarily involved, but, like, what has he missed? Like, who around him is involved
That he's not seeing.
Yeah,
Something's weird with him. We're going to find out something weird about him for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and we know that he died on Nashville, so it's one of those things where you have to wonder.
Absolutely.
And I guess with that, we should wrap up, and we'll be back next week, as I mentioned earlier, on Tuesday night. In the meantime, feel free to tweet Afterbuzz TV, and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Stephanie Wenger.
Oh, yeah. And you guys can find me on Twitter at _Paulina Aguilar and on Instagram at Paulina M. Aguilar. I almost forgot my Twitter name.
Oh, no. You can find me on the Instagram and the Twitter. I think it's down here somewhere at Jamie S. Elias, JamieSelias.
And
Bye, guys.
we'll see you all next week. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Afterbuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the Afterbuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterbuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of Afterbuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.